frustrating than being in the middle of whatever 12 things I'm trying to get done that day and having a kid go, what's for dinner? Whatever you're making. I love you so much, go make something yourself. But, so yeah, any other reasons that you like meal planning? Yes?
We eat healthier and we save money.
Yes, yeah. Fun scientific fact for you. When you're hungry, your brain responds better to fatty, unhealthy, high-calorie foods than it does to salads or healthy foods or low-fat foods. They've done MRIs, scanning, watching brain activity. And for the hungry people, guess what lit up their brains like Christmas?
Ice cream.
Ice cream,
Chocolate.
donuts, chocolate,
Fries.
Yeah.
anything deep fried.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're hungry, you don't make good life choices.
Well, and they tell you not to go grocery shopping when you're hungry.
Yeah, because what sounds good?
Yeah.
Everything.
Our bodies are meant to keep themselves alive. That's their whole point. Our brains are like, hey, what do you need to stay alive? And if you're hungry, you need high-fat food, obviously, right? But really, we don't. Most of the time, we don't need, chicken fried steak and mashed potatoes and the gravy, right? It's fun once in a while,
Right.
but that's not what I need every night. I don't need pizza every night. I don't need a hamburger every night. I need lean meats, solid proteins, lots of fruits and vegetables, but I guarantee if you walk into the grocery store and you're hungry, you're gonna be grabbing the frozen pizza a lot more easily and without a mental process than you're gonna be grabbing a salad kit, right? So that's just, it's huge. We do eat healthier. Any other reasons you wanna throw at me? We save money when we meal plan. I remember a few years back we were talking about, people were talking about being on welfare and that you get $4 a day to eat on welfare.
Ooh.
Or at least at that point you were.
Ooh.
So I started doing that math, okay? I'll grab my calculator. Let's say you're a family of 5. $4 a day times 5 is $20 a day. That doesn't go very far at fast food, right? Like, could anyone feed your family for $20 even at a drive-thru?
3 meals a day.
No.
That wouldn't work, right?
No.
But again, let's do that math. Times 30 days. That's $600. Does anyone know where's your grocery budget? And you don't have to share numbers, but could you make your grocery budget work for $600 a month? Yeah. Because my protein for a given meal is usually anywhere from $3 to $10 for a family of 5, and that we always have leftovers, right? So it makes a huge difference when you're just talking basic numbers. I can feed my family for $4 a day per person if I'm being smart. If I'm impulse buying or grocery shopping when I'm hungry or grabbing the fast convenience foods, I can't afford that. Not on $4 a day per person. So it does make a huge difference. It makes a difference. It makes a difference emotionally. We don't have the stress. It makes a difference financially. We can afford to feed ourselves better on less money. It makes a difference with teaching your children, okay? Like, nobody wants to be that kid as a missionary or the new roommate that doesn't even know how to make mac and cheese. Like, it's not a fun place to be. I had those roommates that were like, what am I gonna eat? It's stressful. When they realized that their student loans don't cover eating out every night, it ended badly. So I love kind of starting with the why are we doing this before talking about some of the hows of doing it. There are a million resources, right? If you get online and Google meal planning, the first probably 10 things that pop up are gonna be ads for something you gotta pay for, which is cool, whatever, like, people gotta make money. But if you keep scrolling, there's printables, there's do it this way, there's do it that way, there's don't do it this way and don't do it that way. So I'm not gonna stand up here today and be like, you have to do it this way. I'm gonna throw out a few different ways that I've done it, and then I wanna hear from you. What are some ways that you've done it? What worked? What didn't work? What worked when your kids were tiny that didn't work when they were teenagers that works great now that, you know, it's you and your husband or you and your roommates, or so that's kind of what I want to do today. Let's see. I just real quick put a few resources that I found, really a few, because there's
Oh, yeah.
so many. My personal one that I'm gonna tell you I truly use, and I've been using this one for I think since college, so that's been, can we do math, kids? 22 years? Is 2021? 21 years. I've been using All Recipes since then, since it was just a website and there were no smartphone apps. I don't use it because it tells me a meal plan. I use it because I love the recipes.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's kind of like if you ever get on Amazon to check the reviews, right? That's All Recipes, but it's for food. So it's the Amazon food recipe. So I get on there and I Google a recipe, or I search a recipe, and they'll have, I don't know, 5 or 10 different recipes from different people, and it's all user submitted. And they'll have right next to it, super easy to see, how many stars and how many reviews.
Yeah.
So I love to find the ones that have 4+ stars and like hundreds of reviews or more, because 9 times out of 10, that's a solid recipe that people have used. And then if I really want to get into it, I'll maybe scroll through the reviews and say, okay, somebody liked this recipe, but they added half a cup of flour and that made it perfect, right? So that's what I love All Recipes for. You're not gonna get on and have a meal plan there for you, but it's a great place to find recipes.
The other thing they will do is you can put in a couple of ingredients, and it will bring up a recipe to use those things, because sometimes you get things in your, you know, a half a bottle of something, you don't wanna freeze it, it needs to be used.
Right.
And
Because really, how often do you use adobo paste, right? Or red curry paste, or, you know, you maybe wanted to try a new recipe, but you bought a new ingredient. We love to make chicken tikka masala. It's a Indian butter chicken. Delightful.
Oh, I'm writing that down.
Delightful, and
Yes.
we love it. The kids love it, but it is literally the only dish that I ever use garam masala spice seasoning in, right? Like, so if I needed to use up my garam masala spice mix, I'd go to All Recipes and look for that, see what else I came up with. And maybe I'd come up with nothing, but if I did, then I have another idea on my plate. So it's a fun one. We're gonna have just a few rules, okay? Because rules make me happy, even if I'm not always following them.
They're made to be broken.
This is a good one, and it applies to lots of areas in life, right? The KISS rule.
Oh, keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
Silly. Silly, okay.
Or keep it stupid simple. Like, it needs to be stupidly simple, because if I get ADD, I need to still be able to keep it simple. Truly, you could spend hours and hours and hours on this. But one of my, like, lately, when just life has been busy lately, okay, my kids are turning into teenagers, which is scary. And my youngest is an 8-year-old. So I have a 12-year-old, a 13-year-old, a 12-year-old, and an 8-year-old. And then we have all their little friends in the neighborhood, and their friends that aren't in the neighborhood, and we have family coming and going from in and out of town, and we're just running nonstop, it feels like. I feel like that's just kind of where we're at in life. We're running all the time, right? We've got evening classes, and so has jujitsu, and so needs to practice violin, and so has this. And so lately, this has been my meal planning, okay? I made my list of the month, and I'll tell you this.
Is that all 30 days?
This is all 30 days,
Okay.
but
And that's just your dinner meal?
this is just my dinner meal.
Okay.
I I don't plan breakfast and lunch really.
Oh, I don't either.
We get staples, like, during the summer, I always have some lunch meat on hand, but lunch is usually leftovers,
Or you take them
Or
to the
school
park and
lunch.
have the free,
or free lunch
Yeah.
at the park.
yeah.
Breakfast, I have a rotating breakfast menu, so I try to keep on hand things that we'll have for breakfast. I might have cereal on hand, usually, especially in the warmer months. And then, waffles, pancakes. Sometimes I'll get English muffins, sometimes I'll get bagels, but kind of have our basics, and we always have eggs. So, we just I don't really plan that stuff.
That
So if you
works
guys,
so well.
yeah, if you have a brilliant, plan a breakfast plan, please tell me. But so far, I just keep the basics on hand because breakfast is kind of always the same, right? There's not a lot of variation. Sometimes we'll get fancy and have a big breakfast on the weekends with bacon or sausage or whatever, but yeah, just keep the staples on hand. So lately, what I've been doing is I'll make my list for the month, and then we get paid twice a month, so I like to grocery shop twice a month. If I can get away with it, that's what I do. That's it's beautiful. I hate going to the grocery store with the fire of 1,000 burning suns. So much I hate it. So I avoid it. I love to do grocery pickup. We can talk about that in a minute. But what I'll do is then, based on this, okay, here's my cutoff. This is where the next payday happens. So for this payday, this is the groceries that I need. And that will give me everything I need to make these meals. And then for this payday, I'm still working on a grocery list down here. And that's what I'll need to grab next payday for that 2 weeks worth of meals. And okay, this is a 25-cent notebook from Walmart that my kids didn't use all of it for school last year.
So is there 30 different meals, or any of those duplicated from one page?
These are all different, but I'm gonna teach you a trick. Cause what happened was, when I very first started meal planning, I'd come up with a week at a time and be like, gold star for me, I win all the points, I got a week done, and that was amazing. But then I realized after I'd been doing it for a few months, I'm doing the same process 4 times a month. And I'm gonna be doing this for the rest of my life because we keep eating every day. So I thought, my friend gave me this and I stuck it on my fridge, okay? It's a little beat up and a little bit old.
But
it
you don't
changes every
remember
month.
where you got it.
I know it has a website here, so we'll have to see if
Oh.
maybe they still are in business.
Oh,
My friend gave it to me like 10 years ago. She'd
Okay.
gotten it as a wedding gift. And she's like, I just don't use this. And I was like, I can use that. So I put it on my fridge and I started writing down what we had every night. Even if I didn't plan. Let's pretend you've never planned a week ahead meals in your life. I just started writing down what we actually ate that day. And at the end of the month, I took a picture of it. And I went down to my computer and I typed what was on there. I erased it, and I did the same thing the next month. And I did that for a year. Yes.
My daughter-in-law, they have 7 children,
Yeah.
and so she just writes on the calendar before the next month. She writes on the calendar the meals, but the kids get to pick meals too. And then that meal that they pick, they have to help prepare it.
right.
I love that.
And so they have a list of the meals, and then she looks at it, and then she goes and they only go get groceries once a month. And they have a storage room, and they lock their storage room. Because the kids will get into it and just eat
Well,
everything.
yes, with 7 kids, guaranteed that would happen.
So they lock the storage room, and they have staples out
Sure.
for them to have,
Yeah. Yeah.
after when they come home from school or something. But they keep their stuff locked in that storage room, and their freezer and everything's in there.
That's brilliant.
But
I love it.
But that way they get ideas, and she introduces like 2 new meals every month.
Yeah.
Something that they've never had.
Fantastic. I love that. You ever feel like you just are eating the same thing on rotation? In fact, so one meal planning, here's my ADD showing, guys. One of my friends, the way she meal plans is she's got 45, 50 little magnets with meals on them. And she's got this magnetic calendar, and every month she just puts the little magnets where she wants them on the calendar, and that's what she does. Which is awesome, right?
Yeah.
But that's the same meals every time. And okay, my husband could eat a salad for lunch every single day for like 3 years before he needed to do something different. I'm not like that.
The kids also, when it's their birthday, they get to choose what they
I love
have in
that. I love that. In fact, so what I did when I had all my months, I started putting them in the computer. I made myself a master list. So this is my master list this is 12 months of menus. So if life goes completely nuts and I don't have time to even think twice, I already have a year of meals planned. And there's repeats, right? Like we have spaghetti every month. We have tacos at least twice a month. Or we have tacos and nachos. And so there's those meals that you just love, your comfort foods that you're just gonna throw in every month. But then there's the ones you wanna mix it up, you wanna try something new. I love trying new recipes. We learned how to make Indian food, English Indian food, let's be real. Tikka masala, they say is Indian, but it's from England, so. Like 5 or 6 years ago, and so that became part of our rotation. We've been learning, one of my friends taught me how to make sushi, so we throw that on our rotation every once in a while. I learned recently from a cute lady how to make Mongolian dumplings, and can I just tell you, they're delightful.
Oh, there's another one. Let's write that one down.
Mongolian dumplings. I'll give
Mongolian.
you a name. I bet we could talk her into teaching. So good, so good. So this is kind of my master list. So if I get to the beginning of the month and my brain's not feeling it, I'll grab this list, I'll look at it and flip through, and sometimes honestly just straight copy it and say, okay, this is what we're eating this month, and I've got it set to go.
Well, and I was gonna say, sometimes you look at your calendar and see how busy you are, and then you can decide, okay, I need something quick and easy that I need to eat this night. So,
Like, our Wednesdays, especially when the kids are in school, my kiddos get out, my grade schooler gets home at about 3, and my middle schoolers get home at 4, and we leave for their jujitsu class at 4:30, and then we're gone, because there's one class at 5 and one class at 6, so we're gone till 7, and we're juggling kids, and my husband meets us at the gym, and I bring one kid home, and he and my son do their class, and then I go pick up my son, so we're just, it's crazy.
right,
So if I don't have something in the slow cooker by like 11 that day,
yeah.
then it's leftovers. Nobody likes leftovers, Nick. So I guess when I say keep it simple, don't redo the same work over and over and over again. Like, you have life and other fun things to do, right? So if you've done the work once, see if you can save it somewhere easily. Take a picture on your phone, type it up on your computer quick, and then it's done. And the next time you're like, I need a week menu plan. Oh, cool, I've got this one in the pictures on my phone. We'll just have that again. And is anyone in your house gonna notice? No one in my house would. It's not until we've had the same meal 3 weeks in a row that they're like, did we have tacos last week? Yeah. Did we have tacos the week before? Uh-huh. But before that, it was nachos. My 13-year-old is getting to the point that she's got some favorite meals, kind of like you were talking about, that she loves, like she's learned how to make them. So some Wednesday nights I can be like, hey, it's KFC bowls, you're on it, it's your job, and she'll make the whole thing, and then all we have to do is clean up after dinner and we're good to go. So that is one of my biggest rules. Keep it simple, don't redo work. Because we have to keep cooking every day, right? We have to keep washing clothes because people keep wearing them. So why redo the mental work when we can spend that mental energy elsewhere? do what works for you. Like I was saying earlier, there are things that worked great when my kids were tiny that don't work great now. It just doesn't, it's not as functional. I haven't written anything on this calendar this month. It's not because it doesn't work, it's because I'm just not there yet this month, right? We're halfway through.
Not
Halfway through. We're at the 9th.
Yeah, yes.
So I can catch up real quick, put the rest of the meals on there, and everyone can look at it, and nobody ever has to ask me, what's for dinner?
So, and it's good for when your kids get older, because if they come home from school, then they know what you're having, and you can ask them to start prepping or
Exactly.
doing those things.
Yeah. I can text and say, hey, I need you to pull out whatever
Right.
meat is for dinner tonight so that
Right.
it can start thawing.
Or
Right.
would you chop the lettuce, you
Sure.
know,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff, because it prepares them.
Something that's kind of different, my daughter-in-law who lives up in Milton by Boise, there's a group of 4 friends. And when they cook, like, they'll cook enough for everybody.
Yes.
And then they don't cook that, you know, and then and they just trade meals like that.
I love that. When we were newlyweds, we lived in these, student housing kind of apartments. So everybody in the building was newlyweds. We had, just all these young couples all living close together. And we found a couple of couples that we were friends with. And we'd do that. We'd say, okay, we're making this tonight. You guys want to come over and bring a side? And we just eat together because none of us had kids yet, and none of us knew how to cook very well. We knew how to cook some things, but none of us knew how to cook for 2 people. So, I mean, do you guys know how to cook for 2 people? Anyone?
No, I do now.
See, Carol's got it figured out. She's been working on it for the last,
A long time, my kids
Yeah.
are old.
I'm gonna tell Jenny so.
Okay, well, my baby's her age,
Oh,
so.
So, yeah, we didn't know how to cook for 2 people. No recipes are for 2. How many
Right, no
recipes are for 2
recipes
people?
2 people.
They're for 4, right? Almost always 4.
no, because you can get online and put in 2, and it'll,
All recipes, you
it'll
can
come
scale
up.
every recipe. It's amazing,
yeah.
right? So, here's true confessions from Bethany Wade. One time, I scaled a cookie dough recipe to 2 servings. And I made it in a little bowl without the egg, and I ate it. And it was delightful. And probably very unhealthy. I do not recommend eating raw cookie dough. It's unhealthy, but I did it and it was lovely.
Oh, why not?
I-
Go for it.
Someone said that the cookie dough from Papa Murphy's is like a powder.
Oh, so you can eat it,
I'm
yeah.
like, well, that makes me feel good, cause I eat it, I don't cook the cookies.
No.
I eat the dough.
It tastes better as
Oh, I've eaten cookie dough my whole life.
Right.
That's what I was gonna say, growing up, there was never a problem.
Yeah.
I saw a meat, I was like,
I still eat it.
it said,
My kids would eat cookie dough, they just leave the egg out and put
has
it in.
anyone ever actually died from eating raw cookie dough, or are people just trying to keep me from enjoying life?
I don't know, there probably is,
Well, the gal that taught the ice cream
Even with the.
day, she said she got sent on her mission on raw eggs. So she would put eggs in ice cream, remember? Oh.
It can happen.
Yeah, but she was on a mission in some foreign country, so.
Right,
Yeah,
so clearly it was dangerous
Yeah.
there.
They keep
Our
their
chickens
eggs differently.
are
They do, they
magical.
don't.
They don't
refrigerate 'em.
refrigerate them,
It's
Yeah.
true,
but we have to refrigerate them because of the way we process it.
right.
So if they're fresh, they do last longer and you don't have to refrigerate, but s- don't refrigerate for how long?
Right.
That's the
Well, the
question.
other problem is we're not used to that bacteria
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
Yes.
you wash off the cuticle. We could do a whole class on eggs.
Yeah.
Oh, I
There's
thought
an
about
idea.
that. and I
We
thought,
could do
Write
a
that
whole
down.
class on
Yeah.
chickens and eggs and keeping eggs and.
Yep.
Yeah, you could.
I think that would be brilliant.
Well, that's such an inexpensive protein
Yes,
that we can,
yes.
yeah.
And I think a lot of people got chickens this last year. I don't know.
Yes.
I feel like a lot of people in our neighborhood did. We're new to chicken keeping and they're funny little creatures, aren't they? Anyhow, so don't redo work, keep it simple, and do what works for you. Be flexible. If something worked last year and your life looks different this year, try a different way. Try a new app, try a new plan. I printed off just a few things, okay? This is just like a quick sampling. This one is a weekly meal plan, and because some people are super healthy and awesome, they have a little checklist here to make sure you're getting your daily servings, right? Two cups of fruit, 2 cups of veggies.
Throw that away.
Yeah, maybe that's where you are. I'm not there. I'm just trying to keep my children alive and myself sane. So I like to be realistic. But
But you know,
I thought
it's
it was
so
cute.
pretty.
It is
very pretty.
Look how colorful, huh?
Isn't that lovely?
Yes.
And then there's this one, monthly meal plan, and it's got breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm totally not planning breakfast and lunch. I'm not gonna do it. But maybe you're there. Maybe you're like dialing it in so that you only buy absolutely what you need and you wanna know exactly how many cups of flour you're gonna use in a given month. Cool. There's a meal plan for you.
Well, I was gonna say, for those people that are really on a tight budget,
Yeah.
they really, you know, that
Yeah.
probably is very helpful for them.
Absolutely. So if that works for you, awesome. Do that. Cute recipe cards. That was like an extra.
Or people who haven't been cooking at home and all of a
Right.
sudden it's changed to.
Like, oh, you don't want to plan all your dinners and then realize at breakfast that you have nothing to eat. Like, I need those eggs to make dinner, so I guess I'm eating mustard for breakfast. That gets to be a problem. So yeah, there's just, I mean, as simple as grabbing a dollar store calendar, right?
Yep, that's what I did.
Yeah, she's got this
Oh,
cute
wow.
dollar store
And I
calendar.
just kept them for every month and, cause I really was more like Suzanne, I just bought food, didn't necessarily plan. Oh, I could make 6 meals out of what I bought today,
Mhm.
and then come home and go, I have nothing for dinner. But,
Right.
and so when COVID hit, and I had my mother with me, and you know, we weren't going out, and so I had to do something different. And Bethany taught this class in our ward, and so I thought, oh, I remember what she said, so I started writing things down, and it was, and the other thing that I like to do with this is I can prep for all week. If I need onions chopped, I do it once,
Oh, that's
Really?
you know?
I
If
love
I need,
that.
you know, so you can, I can meal prep for all week, knowing what I'm gonna do on, you know, like Monday or Tuesday or something. So, yeah, don't do work, and I keep it pretty simple
Yeah.
and pretty basic, and so, yeah. But I had to go from cooking for 2 back to 3, and then there were always leftovers, but I sent those home with my mom. So it was a good thing. So,
Totally works.
you
can
can
make a double batch and put it in the freezer too.
Yeah,
I
that's
do
true.
that a lot.
Yeah.
I do that.
Just take it out and use it.
Yeah.
That's the
Later,
thing.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
some
remembering
stuff
to
brings-
use it.
Right. We've made us, there's this, in our big freezer, we've kind of finally got our heads wrapped around it, but we have one spot where we'll put, this was leftovers that we didn't eat. And so if I'm ever like, I was supposed to put in a roast this morning, I have nothing thawed, it's 4:45 and I have half an hour to make dinner. I can run out there, I have nacho chicken out there, guys. Guess what's tonight? Or I have, we made Cafe Rio salads, one of my favorites, but I didn't have all day to slow cook a huge pork loin, right? I've got the meat right there, I can make up the sauce real quick and we're set. So I love that, making extra, yes.
Well, our kids are all grown now, and they come on Sundays. We call us the Pocatello peeps. So, the ones that live in Pocatello. And I got so tired of trying to think of what to eat, so I sent out a text that says, "Tell me all of your favorites."
Oh.
Yes.
So I just put that on my phone, you know, the list on my phone. And if I was a real homemaker, I could probably schedule it out. But at least I could look on the list and go, oh yeah, we can make that,
Yeah.
instead of trying to think of something. And that's really helped.
That's awesome, I love that, having it on your phone where you can look at it, oh, I'm going to the grocery store, I need to
Mhm.
pick up,
Yeah.
let's get stuff for that meal, perfect, yes.
So, I have twin girls, and they came up with this idea a couple years ago. It's this is breakfasts for my girls. Muffin Monday,
Oh, fun.
Waffle Wednesday, and Friday to Friday.
Cute.
And then, okay, so what do you do on Tuesday and Thursday? You have 2 different kinds of hot cereal.
Brilliant. I love that.
And so that was super easy for me as a mom getting up,
Okay.
going, oh. Or on the day that I'm like dragging myself out of bed because I can't get out of bed, she's in there making the muffins already.
Oh.
That's such a magical
something,
thing, isn't
you know.
it? I mean, I'm guessing probably your kiddos are older than mine, all of you. It's been so magical this last couple of years that they can just like make something. Go in the kitchen, follow directions, and cook. I love that. I love that so much. I love the idea of having a master list. One of the things I started doing not long after, this is my recipe binder. We talked about having recipes that Karen and I were talking about. You have recipes. Oh, where was that one? I made a recipe binder.
Oh, but honey, I would have so many
I
binders.
know. So what I have to do every once in a while is go through and be like, I don't like this one, or I do like this one. And we've expanded into a second
Yeah.
binder now.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
have an entire binder devoted to chicken.
Yeah.
Because we eat so much chicken, right?
Yeah.
But I took my recipe binder that I was keeping everything in, and you can see this little beat up, and I took, okay, here's my proteins: chicken and turkey, beef, pork, meatless or seafood, salads and sides, pastas and grains, and bread. And I just started making a master list on my computer of the recipes that we loved for those things. And then I print it out every once in a while, add to it every once in a while.
Oh, that's great.
So that when I'm thinking of my menus and I'm trying to decide what to have, and I look at this month and I'm like, you guys, we've had so many hamburger nights. What is something else I can do with ground beef? So I have it right there. I just have a list. Let's do something else with ground beef. So, master list, I highly recommend it. If you do nothing else after this, make a master list of your favorite meals. And then you just have it there for whenever you need to make a menu plan.
And it's just the main courses that you really have to plan, because
Right.
you almost always have the sides
Right?
around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're making your grocery list, if you say, I'm gonna make spaghetti, well, what do you usually have? We love to have, in the summer, we love to have green salad with spaghetti. So I'll make sure I pick up stuff for salads,
Mhm.
right? We always have stuff for salads on hand, or canned green beans, kind of some of those things that you've got your stuff that you do all the time. It's just organizing your brain to remember it, right? And that's what menu and meal planning is all about.
The other thing that I have started just the last couple summers is barbecuing a bunch of chicken and then either marinating it or just plain and putting it in the freezer, because with the two of us, we like to eat salads during the summer, and it's just easy to take out some of the frozen chicken and have, with salads. It has worked so well. I thought, I hadn't thought of this sooner.
That's so smart.
Anyway, so that's been really good. And the other thing that I do is I have my recipes, I wrote out all the ingredients of most of the recipes that I use, over and over again. So when I go to put my grocery list, all I have to do is flip back and look to see the ingredients and to check to make sure I have them, or if I need to pick them up.
Amazing.
So
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
I love that. Carol.
The other thing that I did with this was, because I would go through and make the list, and then I'd go, okay, so where is that recipe? As you do
Right.
your
Yes.
where is that recipe? So I would mark down, okay, it was a Pinterest recipe, it was in that word cookbook, it was in,
Yeah.
and so I also, in addition to writing down what I was gonna make, I also made a little key as to where things were, and so it was
Yeah, that's
a
good too.
lot faster to.
I email them to myself.
So smart.
So if you take a picture of it and email
Yeah.
it to yourself. But I need to come up, if I had to do over again, I would have keywords.
Oh, yeah.
Like chicken
To sort.
/ blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Da, 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 so that I don't have to think, what was it called? Yeah.
That's a great idea.
King Joe's smashing dinner, and I was like, well, what is that?
I have this biscuit recipe I love, and it's BJ's Big Daddy biscuits.
Let me write that down for the last.
And
Betsy's gonna be doing all of our kitchen.
Every time I wanna look it up, I'm like,
You got
I
is it DJ or
Yeah.
Brett something? I know, biscuits. So finally, I just kept it in my favorite cookbook. I didn't bring it. I have a little red cookbook with the handwritten recipe cards. You know the ones that like, you
Is
found
it in all
grandma's
the recipes?
recipe.
BJ's?
It is. Big Daddy biscuits. They're glorious.
Okay.
You guys.
It's crazy, I love it.
So, and like you said with the special, different cookbooks, I've had a few. I get cookbooks as gifts.
Yep.
And so I'll go through and like, okay, I want to try this one, and then I'll put a little post-it flag on them so that I can find it when I want to try something new, or ideally then I would like mark that I tried it or whatever. But usually I just look through, okay, I wanted to try that one. I have one of my favorite pork recipes is in here. It's a citrus pork roast, which I thought sounded super gross until I tried it. And so I know there's a little post-it flag that I can just turn to it, and or I can tell my kids, it's in this cookbook, marked with a flag, this is the name, and they can look it up and pull out the ingredients and help me with it. So I love that.
Wow. I wish I could start over now. With the knowledge that I've.
Yeah, exactly, when you have kids at home and, yeah. So what's in the paper book? Is that
This one?
recipes?
This is
No,
the
the
recipe.
paperback.
Oh, guys, I was just gonna say, I brought this because when I was in college, this is what I started learning. I learned to cook some from my mom, but you know how well kids listen, right?
Yeah.
So I knew how to make,
Boil
tuna
water.
noodle casserole. There were some basics that she had me make, and I knew how to do that. But I was like, how do you make boiled eggs, okay? And I was a very grown-up 18-year-old, so I didn't need to call my mom and ask her how to make boiled eggs. So I pulled out
Besides, it
my
was long distance back in those days.
This is, what is this? Betty Crocker, okay?
Oh my gosh.
Betty Crocker, it's the 1986 printing.
I was gonna say, mine's bigger.
If you know somebody who's learning how to cook, bust out what is Betty Crocker or the Better Homes and Gardens, and they have, and I don't know about the newer ones, but like this one will tell you how to make poached eggs and hard-boiled eggs and soft-boiled eggs and all the basic stuff. And I bought it for 75 cents at a used bookstore around the corner from my house in Portland before I went away to college.
Oh, that is
Mine's got your money out of that.
I think I did.
Oh my
My
gosh.
favorite crepes recipe is in here.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, how to make a white sauce. You know, the stuff that like your grandma knew how to do by heart. Yeah.
When I did 4-H, when I was, we started really early, and it had how to make white sauce and how to boil eggs and how to do all that stuff. Well, I had all those books, so I copied that, and then all the recipes that we made, that I made all the time for my kids. And then I had some of my great grandmother's recipes and my mother's recipes and my mother-in-law's recipes. And I made books for my kids, and that's all they used to,
Oh, that's
they
fun.
use that to cook out of. And if they can't find it, they're like, Mom, I can't find my book.
That's so
See,
awesome.
this is
That
a good
is
spot for
awesome.
me, because I need to start that for my kiddos. My
Right.
8-year-old yesterday was like, Mom, this is my favorite recipe. Can you please put it in a book for me? Sure. If I had a book. So maybe I just need to be like, hey, we need to go get some, I'll get some little binders and we can start putting our favorite recipes in.
Jennifer did for me and her sister when she got married. She bought like a little photo album, the little kind with slip of it. And so that's what she, gave her with all those family fun recipes. We make crepes instead of pancakes, and so it's pancakes, what we grew up knowing as crepes, what we grew up knowing as pancakes. And so with that recipe, you can just slip it in, you can
I
add,
love
it's
that.
about, yay thick. I think you can probably still buy a little.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, it was
You
pretty
can
good.
get anything on Amazon.
Well, yeah, that's probably true.
But it's great because then when they leave home, look at all those recipes that they'll have.
Yeah,
and they
she
can
could
pick
even,
with
she
them.
could even write it herself, her favorite recipe.
Yeah.
She could write it, copy it from you.
I love it.
My books even have the names that we call them, like the big, homemade noodles for chicken and noodle soup. Well, those were night crawlers.
Oh, that's fun.
That's
Oh
night
my
crawlers.
I love that.
That's a
And jail
heritage,
food. They
yeah.
love jail food.
What's jail food?
Milk, bread, chunks of cheese, and onion if you want, and a little sugar.
What?
Food. Oh my goodness, how
Healthy, that's good.
You know,
That
we-
sounds
my
different.
mom used to make this green bean, it's like green beans and white sauce, and she'd cut up hot dogs. I still have nightmares, guys.
Mine is cream of chicken tuna, or cream of
Cream of
tuna.
tuna,
Oh.
right?
I knew that it was the end of payday when we were getting close to the end of groceries and we had cream of tuna on toast, so I'm going,
Oh,
no, I didn't make my
it'll keep
kids
you
eat that.
alive, right? I mean, you won't die,
But it was not one of my
I feel
favorites.
like maybe once in a while we need to do like a throwback night and be like, you wanna know what your grandma made? Or what your grandma made, because your great grandma made her?
So we can school change.
They have some
Chicken.
Yes.
Okay, if you want, one of the things I found, this is one of the new ones to me, emails and meal line. And you can do paid, right, but they have enough free features that it's still functional. You pick a couple meals, they give you a grocery list. And with emails, you pick the meals, not only do they give you a grocery list, but if you really don't wanna do a lot of work, they'll send your grocery list to Fred Meyer or to
Oh my
Walmart, and you can
gosh.
just
Oh
pick it
my.
up, right? I was like,
Whoa.
okay, there's no excuse, right? Like, if you can't take 5 minutes and click 5 meals,
Oh my
I mean, you might pay through the nose, I don't know, I haven't done it yet, but, and I loved when I looked on, I think it was Mealline, they give you the list and then you can click off the things, okay, I already have flour, I already have milk, I already have eggs, but I need this, and so you can just uncheck the ones you don't need that week.
My sister does something really strange. She has her meals delivered to her. I don't know what it's called.
Oh, yes.
Is it like
It's like Hello Fresh.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
like that.
It's
Yes.
Hello Fresh and they will deliver meals, yeah.
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 That's dog food, but
What is, there's a blue something, yeah, there's a
There's,
few that do
there's
that.
a few, yeah, there's several that you can get on it.
well, and you can do that with bios too, here in town.
That's true, you can, I've seen there, yeah.
Meals in a box. or
Yeah,
something.
you know, for the box.
I never done it.
They'll deliver, I don't know.
No,
if
you
they
have to
do
pick
it.
them up, but at bios.
You could probably have them deliver with, what is it, Uber Eats or
You
something.
know, I always thought that with COVID that you could do something like that. Because, you know, they don't like you cooking in your home and taking stuff, so that would have been a great idea to give to someone that,
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
that needed a meal.
Missionaries.
Yeah,
Yes,
missionaries,
the
yes.
missionaries can't eat with us yet, huh?
Yeah, they can.
They can
They
now.
can
And they
now.
have, that just changed.
June
Last
1st,
week.
I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
They're so cute.
So Nell's Bilo does have entrees now individually, so it's like $10 or something like that, but or 12, but it might have a pot roast with all the carrots and all that stuff. So so that is still handier and cheaper than going to McDonald's
It
Oh,
really
yes.
is.
Yes.
and healthier. So our older kids are starting to crock pot, you know, get the crock pot liners and put it in there, and then they just go and buy. Even if they didn't do it very often, it still is
Yep.
one step in the right direction
I
for
mean, it's a big step.
for healthy, because everybody's so busy now.
Yeah,
So
life is nonstop. Well, that's kind of my summary. That's what I've got for today. Did anyone have anything else they wanted to throw out before we wrap up? Anything that you're like, okay, but here's one more thing.
Is there a good enchilada sauce recipe? Is anybody have a good enchilada?
That's on our next meeting.
That's
Just
not
get
real
online.
spicy, that's not real spicy.
We need to find one, ladies.
that's true.
This needs to
Pilot
be
House
teased.
had really good one. Years
Oh,
ago.
that was the best.
But you know, I asked the lady about it and she goes, their mother just would come in and make it up. And no one really knew.
I don't even know what's in the
She
enchilada
passed
sauce.
away, so I don't know if.
I have
ever-
Pilot Houses. Somebody that said that they knew the recipe. I have it, but I've never made it.
Of the enchilada sauce?
So I need to send it.
Share that.
Well, I need to send it to somebody who will make it to say,
Oh, send it to me.
is it,
I wanna try.
is it like it?
I always
'Cause
buy cans of it, cause I
Yeah,
know
see,
it's
that's
for
what
I
I
just
I
like
like
it
powder.
cans
Then
or
some of it's like,
packets, you know.
kinda spicy, cause he had gallbladder surgery, you know, and
Ooh.
sometimes it just doesn't sit well with
There's,
it.
there's not a lot in it, cause in the Betty Crocker cookbook hundreds of years ago.
Oh, let her look it up, see what's in it.
Because it was just lard and flour and chili powder
Yeah,
and some garlic and
right,
water.
right.
That's why it's a secret, no one wants to talk about lard anymore.
Lard.
And that's probably why it's so
Oh, there's
good.
lard in it, huh? That's
It's
interesting.
'cause it's pork fat.
Because
Well,
I
post
seen
it on our
and
Facebook
my
page and
daughter-
see if someone will make it and tell us.
Do, yeah, put it on the Facebook page.
What about,
You
when
can-
we
you
do the
can send
sauces,
it to me.
isn't that for a regional meeting?
Yes, the end of the month.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't call it Pilot House, 'cause that might,
Well, yeah,
Bad,
yeah,
but I
yeah,
would go,
just say it.
delicious.
Pocatello.
Send it to me, Suzanne, I wanna try it.
I'll send it to
Okay,
Lisa, and if
Lisa.
it's really good, and if you give me your information, I hope I can find it, I'll send it to you,
To try it.
and just to see if it's,
If it's any good.
because in reality, it's just Tex-Mex kind of enchilada sauce, but we're so spoiled by it because it was around for so long that
Now it's gone.
nobody makes that sauce, so everywhere we go, we always go, yeah, we'll take your sauce. It's like, yeah, it's just not the same.
Okay, I'm ready, well,
Just like
okay,
Coca-Cola.
when we meet,
Did you eat it, Coca-Cola?
we'll need to.
Uh-oh, I just,
Enchilada sauce is any good.
so we're gonna have this discussion on YouTube, uh-oh. Bleep, bleep, bleep.
In so much trouble.